Is it the faith that makes you righteous? So you have to be careful there, because faith by its very nature implies that it's a trust in something other than yourself. And often, if you say faith makes us righteous, you start to say, you start to have faith in your faith. And you start to measure how much faith you have. And the righteousness that we get from Christ is not in a sense that it just all of a sudden, before you were a drug addict hanging out in an alley, soliciting prostitutes, and now you believe in Jesus and you're a shiny angel.
Right.
That's not what that means. It's the benefits of Christ made in the form of a gospel promise that you trust in. And the mistake that people make is that they assume that the righteousness that they receive is their own righteousness. It's not. It's Jesus Christ's righteousness.
So it's not a righteousness that you can go and say, well, I'm righteous because I have faith. Like, it shouldn't blow your head up.
No, the righteousness that we have is Christ it's Christ's righteousness himself.
And
so
what did Christ have to do so that you could be righteous? Like, that shouldn't blow your head up either.
No, it's not yours.
Right.
It's a loaner. I mean,
right.
It's not even, it's not a loan. That's a wrong term to use, but it is a gift.
Yeah.
And it's given to you that you hold by trust, that you hold in faith. And so this doesn't automatically make you Mother Teresa now, as before you were someone who was completely and utterly worthless. And now all of a sudden, look, you're Mother Teresa. It means now, though, that God sees you and views you through the righteousness of Jesus Christ by faith, not in actuality of who you are here on this earth. That's why it's an eschatological promise. It's a promise that God has made to you about what Christ has done and what he has done for you, that you hold in faith. Luther said God then unites you to Christ. He calls it faith. I love this image. Luther said faith is a wedding ring. And the reason that he illustrated it that way is that if you're just dating, let's say you're dating a guy, he has his stuff, you have your stuff.
Right.
And if you break up, you have no legal right to anything that he has, and he has no legal right to anything that you have. But once you become married, literally the moment you say I do, you legally own everything that's his, and he legally owns everything that's yours. And that's why Luther said when faith in Jesus Christ is given, when that occurs, everything that is Christ's now becomes yours, and everything that is yours becomes Christ's.
Do you think that people ever get it wrong in a relationship with Christ, but like not being fully married? So like basically I'm not willing to give over my shame or anything that I'm hanging on to be like, to have faith in Jesus, like basically staying somewhat separated, but just knowing that you love him, kind of a thing. You see what I'm saying?
The promise of the gospel is that Jesus Christ now claims all of you. This is where people get so screwed up, is that they think that when they're made righteous through the blood of Jesus Christ, that means that in this life they are. And therefore that there shouldn't ever be any more sin in your life because Christ has made you totally righteous. So if there's sin in your life, that means there's something wrong. In Galatia, they assumed that Christ died for us, but he really hasn't done much. You still have to obey the law, and you still have to sort of legally merit righteousness. The Corinthians, they just thought that there's no such thing as sin anymore, and it's completely gone, and we could just live as if heaven is occurring right now. The Galatians didn't understand the nature of what sin is, and the Corinthians didn't understand the nature of what sin is. When people catch on to this, it starts to make sense. There's two yous. There's the you that trusts by faith in Jesus Christ, and there's the you that still lives in this world that is under the law and is going to die. But in faith, in the heart, in the conscience, Christ reigns.